A federal judge today setting the date for E. Jean Carroll's next civil case against Donald Trump. Know that he has already been found liable for sexually abusing and defaming her. CNN's Kara Scannell joins us with more on that. Jessica, what are you learning about the former president's latest trial date and how it could conflict with all the other dates on the legal calendar?
I mean, John, do you have a calendar ready to mark this up? Because this trial date is now set for January 15th of next year. And if we take a look, right, I mean, this is going to clash with primary season, no question. But if we look at all of the legal cases that the former president is facing, you know, he's going to trial. His company is going to trial in October over the New York Attorney General civil lawsuit involving the company's financial statements. He sat for a deposition in that case. So that deposition will be played. It will become public. This is going to be something he'll have to contend with. And then just in January, a few months later, he will go on trial again in this E. Jean Carroll civil lawsuit. Now, he did not attend the last trial and he did not testify. Remains to be seen if he will change his mind either way in this case. But it will go right about when this primary season is kicking off, and it's a crowded field already. So he's certainly going to be, not backing down. He's going to be out on the campaign trail. Then in March, just 2 months later, is when his trial is set for the criminal case in New York in that hush money case. And in that case, he is required to attend. So that is going to take up, no one has really set the days yet, but it could be 2-3 weeks that he will be required to be off the campaign trail during the week, Monday through Friday, when this trial sits. And it remains to be seen when the classified documents trial date will be set. And judges have been cognizant that he does have a First Amendment right. He is campaigning. He does need to be out in the field, but there is also, due process. It's a speedy trial, as the special counsel's team has said. They're willing to move quickly. That date has yet to be set, but it's starting to get a little crowded, and it remains to be seen if there are going to be any further charges against the former president, because the Fulton County District Attorney is still conducting her investigation, has kind of signaled that there could be a decision in August, and it remains to be seen what the special counsel will do as they look at January 6th.
And just to be clear, Kara, this is not the same lawsuit exactly brought by E. Jean Carroll in which Donald Trump was found liable for sexual abuse last month. Can you explain why the split here?
Yeah, so this lawsuit that we're talking about was the first one that was filed in November of 2019. It's a defamation lawsuit. E. Jean Carroll wrote her book. She made these allegations that Trump had raped her in the Bergdorf Goodman department store. And then he came out, very much saying that he didn't know her. He thought this was made up for her book sales. That has been tied up on appeal in these legal issues, in part because both the Trump Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department have said that Trump was making these statements when he was president, and so it fell within the scope of his duties. So they have said that essentially DOJ should be substituted as the defendant, which would essentially end the case. That's been tied up on appeal. She then filed a subsequent lawsuit. That's the one that went to trial, but this one has been lingering. Now, what's very interesting is the Department of Justice in these court filings have said they need a little bit more time to decide if they're going to continue with their position, in part because of the evidence that came out in this first trial. So it really could potentially turn on whether DOJ still believes that Trump was acting within the scope. Either way, there are some legal issues here for the judge to work out, but it's a case that this judge is looking to put a marker on and get it moving. And Carroll, of course, just recently won the ability to amend that lawsuit to include some of the statements that Trump made at the town hall that were repeating the statements that the jury found were defamatory, so she could potentially seek even more impunitive damages if she's successful.
You really need a spreadsheet to keep track of all the legal issues facing the former president. Kara, stick around. I want to bring back Jessica Roth into this conversation. And I want to talk about the political aspects, too. So CNN senior political commentator and former George W. Bush special assistant Scott Jennings is with us as well. Jessica, just quickly, how do you see this trial playing out? Will it go on time as ordered?
It's hard to imagine that it will, given the other criminal cases that are on former President Trump's calendar. Criminal cases generally take precedence over civil cases in being tried because of a defendant's right to a speedy trial. And so at some point, something's going to have to give. He's got the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal charges. He's got the special counsel's criminal charges in Florida. If there are additional charges that are criminal filed in Georgia this summer, that would add a third criminal case. And then, of course, the special counsel may have additional criminal charges, including for the January 6th investigation. So at some point, it's just going to be a matter of, are there days left on the calendar, to say nothing of the legal challenges involved for his lawyers in thinking about how to coordinate the defenses in all these cases and the implications of statements that he may make or filings they may make in certain cases for their strategy in other cases.
Scott, you've worked on campaigns. I mean, how distracting would all of this be? I guess, how distracting would it be to a normal campaign? And how distracting will it be, do you think, to the Trump campaign?
Well, it's going to be quite distracting. I mean, running for president is one of the most attention necessary items you can do in politics. You know, some of these other offices you run for, maybe it's not all encompassing. Running for president is absolutely an all encompassing issue. And you look at the calendar here and you think about what's going to happen. It's not just going out and doing your normal rallies and stuff. Things happen, such as in August, they're going to have some debates, beginning with, the RNC is going to have some debates. And that's about the time we're supposed to hear about the Fulton County, Georgia indictments, in which he's obviously in the crosshairs down there. So you think about, over time, you're trying to prepare to run for president on a daily basis. You're trying to do those events. You got to meet with your lawyers to prepare your defense in these cases. You've got to do debate prep. You've got to do deposition prep. Human beings only have so much bandwidth, so much attention, and so many hours in the day. It will be quite overwhelming. And I think what Republicans are ultimately going to have to ask themselves is this going to be a campaign about voters, or is it going to be a campaign about Trump? Because I'll guarantee you, all he's going to want to talk about is all of his woes in the legal system. And that's not really addressing the needs of the country right now.
Kara, any word from Trump's legal team on any of this?
I mean, they haven't responded to this order yet tonight, but what they've already signaled is that they're going to ask the judge to essentially dismiss the lawsuit. They're going to ask for summary judgment. And their argument is interesting because they want to say that because this jury that did hear the whole case found that Trump did not rape her, but they found that he sexually abused her, they're going to argue that that means that these statements could not be defamatory. But ultimately, it will be up to the judge to decide if he's going to rule on that or if he's going to let a jury decide.
As I said, it is a lot to digest. Kara Skinhel, Jessica Ross, Scott Jennings, great to see you one and all.